Hey traders, it's Delgado, Head of Market Research at Global Prime. In this quick video, I'm going to be showing you how you go about downloading and registering either your demo or live account with Global Prime. Now, first of all, a little bit of a background information about MT4. Now, MT4 is a platform that was developed by MetaQuotes back in the old days. And by far, it has become the most popular to be used by the retail space. It is very intuitive, even though at first it might feel a little bit intimidating or a daunting task because you just find yourself in a myriad of so many different buttons and options. But hopefully through this series of videos, everything will be very straightforward for you. Okay, so now let's get into the nitty and gritty. MT4 is a platform that offers the ability to conduct spot forex trading, but at the same time, you can also trade through the contract for differences or CFDs, commodities, or stock indices. All these products are available through Global Prime. Okay, now let's get into the nitty-gritty on how you go about downloading the actual platform. Remember, downloading the platform is completely free of charge through Global Prime website. All you have to do is to follow the instructions, and in a few steps you will be absolutely done. Okay, installation only takes a few minutes, and as I said, you'll be done. So to simplify the steps ahead of this video, I had already requested a new demo account. So let's follow the instructions from the email that I have received.
Alright, so the next step is obviously heading to your email inbox, and you would have received this Global Prime FX email where you have to just click on confirm your email address on this blue box, and the moment you do that, you will be redirected not to this main page for the first time, but rather you will be redirected to this portal, to the client portal page. Okay, and from here you have complete control about your demo account. You can actually download the MT4 platform, but something I want to mention before we take things any further is that you will also immediately receive a couple of extra emails from Global Prime. The second one is your credentials when it comes to the MT4 account, the demo account. Okay, so you have here the demo account name, the currency denomination, your leverage, the balance that you will be given to prepare and train with MT4, and the third email is going to be about your credentials to access the client portal. Okay, your logins. So do keep that in a safe place, because whenever you log out of your portal, you will have to relog using these details. Okay, now once you are in the client portal at Global Prime FX, you have various options. One is you can obviously request a new demo account in case that you want to practice with a higher balance, or you want to actually opt for a different denominated currency account. You can also obviously download the MT4 software, which would be the next logical step. And then once you, and this is something that we strongly encourage, once you've able to accumulate enough experience and hopefully being profitable for a protracted period of time, at least 6 months, then you can apply for a live account. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to download the platform, and that's going to take just a few seconds. Okay, so you will notice here on the bottom side that I have a file downloaded, so we're just going to click on keep, and you will notice immediately there's going to be a pop-up window. We're just going to wait for a second. All right, so the file has now been downloaded. We're going to click on it. Then the next step is pressing run, and then click on next here. And then we're just going to have to wait until the process is complete for another few seconds. And there we have it. The download now is fully complete, and we need to click on finish. And from there, we're going to be prompted to an MQL5 website, which we just simply ignore. And what you will notice is that the MT4 platform will be launched automatically on your computer. Okay, so we're just going to wait for a second until the MT4 platform has been now launched, and then I'll go through the explanation on how you register your demo account. Alright, so the MT4 platform now has been pre-populated with 4 different charts, but notice that here on the icon on the bottom right side of the screen, it's still not connected, okay? In my case, it says invalid account. Now, what we have to do is, first of all, we need to come to the left side panel and click on the Global Prime demo account, which has been pre-registered by us going through the email process. And now here is where we have to log in, okay? So remember, what we need to do next is going back to the email that we received. So that's the email that you got with the login details. So what you're gonna do is copy and paste this information. So first of all, the demo account number, just gonna copy that and paste it right there. And then the password. So the password, it's found either in this email that you first received, which we're gonna paste in here, or alternatively, you can also find your master password on your client portal. Okay, so there are two options, just in case that you cannot find for whatever reason that email down the road. You will always find this password also in the client portal, although we obviously strongly encourage you to keep this password saved somewhere else in a document that you can just lock away. Okay, now back to the MT4 platform. Once you have introduced the details and select server demo, what you're gonna do is click on login, and you will notice immediately that the account will come to life in a few seconds. Okay, so there we have it. In this icon, as I said before, on the bottom right side of the screen, this will indicate when the server has been connected. And the moment that that happens, then you are good to go to start placing trades in the market. You will notice that on the left panel, on the top left panel, the fluctuations in price movements start to occur, and you will notice here on the bid and ask. Now I'm recording this video through the Asian session, so things are fairly slow, but you're pretty much good to go to start experimenting, training, and playing around with the MT4 platform. You know, just trying to get better at it before you open a live account. So once MT4 is connected to Global Prime service, remember, as I explained before, you can always check the status of your connection through this icon here at the bottom right hand side of your screen. So basically, by default, the platform will open 4 chart windows, each representing a different currency pair. As you can see here, we have the euro dollar, pound dollar, the dollar against the Swiss franc, and the US dollar against the Japanese yen. From here on out, you're all set to trading. At first, as I said to you before, the interface might look like a little bit of a daunting task, but after I walk you through all these features, you will realize how simple it is to use, especially once you get to practice and play around with it. To start with, and to break it down in its simplest form, MT4, the backbone of it consists of 5 different sections. These are the market watch right here. Then you have the navigator window, which is the one right underneath. Then you have the terminal window right here. This is the terminal window. And then the data window, which is the 4th, and the actual charts, which would be our 5th section. Next is the toolbars that offer you the possibility to choose multiple icons at the top of the screen. So these are all the toolbars that are included as part of the MT4 platform. So let's just go one by one, and I will explain which are the functions of each one of them, okay? So as I said, from left to right, the first icon you see will allow you to create new charts. So if you press on it, you can actually make a selection of opening new charts, and that includes majors, non-majors, or minors. Then you have indices, then the metals, silver and gold, and at the same time you can also choose trading Brent, which would go for UK oil, or you can choose to trade crude oil, the US version. So these are all the options that you have as part of the first icon. The next icon is the profile settings. Remember, you can always customize your terminal with as many charts as possible. So for example, I will create 2 new charts, and then we'll save the profile, and I will name it test. Okay, so let's just for a second just create a new chart. So that is the US dollar against the Canadian, and let's just select a minor. So pound against the Swiss franc. Okay, now here's a
quick trick. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but if you actually press arrange windows, you will notice how the windows all come on the same size. So it's much better for you to visualize your terminal. So once this is done, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be clicking on this icon as I was explaining to you, and I'm going to then select Save Profile As. The moment that you actually type a name and you press OK, there you have it. You will have a new profile being saved, and this comes under the name Test, and you can always see what type of profile you're under by checking at the bottom of your screen the profile. This is the name, and if you actually want to access the profile through MT4, you have two options. You can always come back to the second icon I was explaining you about, and then you have all the different profiles available, or at the same time you just can click at the bottom of your screen and then you have the profiles available here. So to me personally, I find it more handy if you can access your profiles through the bottom of the screen. So next, the third icon we're going to find, it's called Market Watch. So if you click on it, what you're going to find is a list of a variety of currency pairs along with its corresponding bid and ask price. There are also going to be two tabs here. The first one refers to the actual symbols, which shows the list of currency pairs available to you. The other, it's called tick charts, and this tab, when selected, it's going to show the current price activity of any currency pair. So let's just say, for example, the pound US dollar, and we click on the tick chart. Now I'm recording this video through the Asian session, so the activity is going to be very slow and stagnant. So you can see it barely updates the price. But if I were to say go to the Aussie against the US dollar and I press tick chart, you will notice how there's supposedly should be a little bit more of a price activity on the updates of price. Now we see how the Aussie dollar is moving higher, and then all the ticks lower means that the latest updates in the movement of price on the Aussie US dollar, it's been to the downside, again to the upside. This is a pretty handy tool, especially if you want to nail and pinpoint the actual movements of price in the charts. Okay. The next indicator is the data window, which comes next to the Market Watch. And what it does, basically, it's pretty handy at times, but I have to admit that it is not widely used. So once you open it up, it will show you the actual values. Here is the section. So if I were to unclick it, which one is it? This one. So if I unclick it now, it will disappear from the screen. If I click again, this is the actual data window. As I said, it is not widely used, but it can be handy at times. So let's just say for a second that we are expanding the chart of the euro dollar. So what it does is it shows the actual values for all the data points available in the chart. For example, if I place the crosshair on top of the last candle right here, it will give me, I will be able to see the values corresponding to the currency pair and its respective indicators. Right here, I will be able to see these values. Next is the Navigator. So if I were to unclick, now it disappears, and now it shows up again. So the Navigator gives you an eagle view in a breakdown format about the number of accounts that you have. So in my case, I only have one account. Then a list of all the indicators that come by default on MetaTrader 4, the expert advisors, and at the same time, the scripts. So by default, you will be given, as I said, a number of indicators, expert advisors, scripts, and you will also be given the option to see and to check or switch your accounts if you have more than one through the Navigator as well. So this will give you, or will provide, I will provide a more thorough explanation about this section later in the tutorial. But for now, bear in mind that this is a pretty handy section in case that you just want to check the list of, as I said, different features that you have as part of your MT4. The one that comes next is the terminal. Now, this is one of the most fundamental sections that you always going to be using, just because you want to be obviously tracking your performance and the trades that you have opened, your history, etc. So again, the terminal is the one that you see at the bottom. Allow me to expand it a little bit so we have a better visualization. So these are all the tabs that the terminal come with. So you have trade, exposure, account, history, etc. Now, the tabs that you're going to be using the most by a country mile are trade. Here you will see all the trades that are being opened. So let's just give you an example here. I'm going to be opening a buy position in the pound against the US dollar. Okay, so no, a sell. I just press a sell. Okay, so let's say I just press a sell. So as you can see, the actual open position comes here, and the different columns show you the type of trade you have. So that's a sell, the size, symbol, etc. So as you can see, it's very intuitive, and this is the tab that will show you all the time the trades that you have open at the moment. And the second, and the one that you will be probably most frequently visiting, is the account history. Here, if I were now to close the trade, which you can do so by just simply clicking at this X icon, then the trade will be closed. Notice how it disappears from the actual tab here, and it will be registered in account history. Okay, so those are the two tabs that you will be most commonly and most constantly using as a trader. Then you have different variety of tabs that you can also use, such as the news, alert, mailbox, market signals, code-based experts, and journal. You will become familiar with all these tabs as you keep using the terminal, and I'll give you a further explanation as we move along. The next icon is the actual the strategy tester. Now, this is an icon that is going to be, and a function that is going to be extremely useful as a tool for you to test certain hypotheses of your trading system or strategy by using historical data. So if I were to press the strategy tester, notice how it comes at the bottom of the screen. So this section, which I will talk about it more in detail in a later explanation, is essential to get the most out of your expert advisors or indicators as you strive to optimize and backtest your strategy. So backtesting allows you to simulate trading over a long period of time in just minutes. So you would be having the option here to select the EAs, the symbol you want to be backtesting, what type of model you want to actually put this backtesting under, etc. The type of time frames. But as I said, there will be another video where I will be more in detail touching about this section of MT4. Now, in the next icon, this is where you have the option here, new order. You have the option to press this button if you want to enter new trades. Now, MT4 has evolved a lot over the years. So now you're being presented the exact same option to enter if you want at market by just simply clicking on the top left side of your chart. So here you have an option to enter. You can choose your position, 0.5, 1. It depends on your account balance and different other considerations. Okay, so you have an option to enter trades through the chart or through this option. If you click new order, then you are being presented with a window where you can choose the symbol that you're going to be trading. So in this case, since we are now in euro-dollar chart, that's by default the one that it's going to be in display. Then you can decide the volume. So as I said here, you can change from 1, which refers to 100,000 units, to 0.5 as volume, which would just refer to 50,000 units. Then you can choose the stop loss, take profits, mark, and obviously one of the most important considerations for you as a trader is, do you want to actually enter your order at market, or you want to have a pending order? Pending order being the option to buy at limit, sell at limit, buy stop, or sell stop. And then you can define the prices. So for example, if we're going to be trading here the euro dollar, imagine that I want to enter the trade down at 1.1466. what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be pressing new order. I'm going to go to pending order, buy limit, and I'll be typing 1.14666, and then I'm going to be then defining my stop. So let's say my stop will be at 1.14, and my take profits, you can always define that if you want to, would be at, let's say, 1.16, okay? And then you can place the order, and there you have it. Now you have your buy limit, your take profit, and your stop will be well defined underneath the price, your entry level, that is, okay? Now, if you actually want to modify your order, notice how now your limit buy, it's showing in the trade tab. So if you actually want to modify, you can always double click here and you have the option to modify the order. So let's say that I want to move my stop even before the position is being filled. I want to modify my order from 1.14, and now I want my stop to be, I have some reconsideration, and I want my stop to be 1.1380. Click on modify, and automatically I will have my order modified with my stop at 1.1380. If I were to double click again, you have other options as well, which would take you back to perhaps if you want to enter a second order through market execution or pending order as well. Okay. Now you also can set an expiry date. So let's just say that you only want to be filled if the trade comes to your level during the next 24 hours. So you can then click on expiry, and you can define the date and the time, and then right after, the order will be automatically deleted from the chart. Okay, so these are all different features that as you practice, it will become second nature to you. Now, it's important to point out that as clients of Global Prime, you can be sure that when trading through our brokerage firm, all trades that go to market are going to be filled by a liquidity provider. So if your order to go long euro dollar is being filled, one of our key differences is our openness and transparency. That means that you can always request a trade receipt that will prove that trades are actually being made and filled by our liquidity providers. Now, the icon that comes next is the auto trading, which is the essentially it entails the ability to enable or disable your expert advisors or robots. Now, remember, MT4 is a very friendly platform when it comes to algorithm trading. So if you want to, if you have it actually pressed, what that means is that you are enabling the ability for the MT4 platform to trade through your algorithms, or as it's often called, EAs, okay? So all you have to do is just attach your expert advisor to a screen. So by default, there are 2 expert advisors that come with MT4. So let's just say we're gonna be attaching the MACD sample, okay? So now, whenever the conditions are met, there's going to be some trades being entered long or short as long as auto trading is pressed. If it's not pressed, if it's disabled, even though we have an EA attached to our chart, the trades are not going to be activated just because the auto trading option, it is not being enabled. Now, the next icons that I'm going to be presenting to you are the most intuitive. So let's start by the type of candles that you can have in your chart. The first one is you can set up your charts being represented, the price being represented by a bar chart. You can have it as a candlestick, which is by far the most common by all traders. Or you can have it as a line chart. Now here, if you have it as a line chart, it will only represent the price closes, okay? Now, the next one is going to be the ability to zoom in or to zoom out your charts, okay? So you can actually zoom it out to a certain extreme. So this would be the most that you can zoom out your charts. And then the most that you can actually zoom it in would be this kind of visual representation, okay? Next, it's going to be how you go about arranging your windows, if you wish to actually arrange your windows, that is. Now, if you're going to be trading, obviously you're gonna feel far better if you have your chart obviously expanded. Now, if you just want to have that kind of eagle view about all the charts and currency pairs that you are monitoring, you can just simply press this icon, and all your charts will be well organized and well structured in alignment and in the same size. Okay. Now a tip here that I want to provide is that you can actually have this type of layout, but if you come to window right here, you can also organize them as in cascade. So there you have it. So you would have the cascade format. You can have it tile horizontally, so this would be your chart style horizontally, or you can have them vertically. Okay. Now personally, the one that I find to be the most intuitive if I want to be kind of monitoring all my pairs at the same time would be, as I said, just pressing this icon right here, and you can have them all in equal size in the front of your screen. The next icon that you're going to be able to get familiar with the more you practice is Vistal. They relate to the scrolling and the shifting of the charts back and forth. So now I have them both enabled. What that means is that the price is gonna keep. I'm gonna have the price displayed on the right side of my screen all the time as the price moves forward and the time advances. If I have them both disabled, this will allow me to go back to a specific date for the purpose of checking a trade that either was a win or was a loss, or if I want actually to kind of just test my strategy without going through the actual back testing that is being provided, as I said here to you before, here through Strategy Tester, which is more kind of oriented towards EAs or also indicators. You can actually do it manually, but if you want to do it manually, then you have to make sure that these shifts are unclicked or disabled. So that allows you to check the charts without the risk of being taken back and shifted back to present time, to present price. Okay. Now the next one, it includes the indicator list. Remember, the indicator list is something that by default you will have different ones that are available, and these are being presented through different categories. So the ones that will refer to trends are being listed in this category. Then you have oscillators, volumes, Bill Williams, which is a very popular indicators, and then you have your custom indicators as well. So you can obviously add on top of the default indicators the ones that you can you wish. So the other way that you can access the indicators and add them to your chart is through the Navigator. Remember. So let's just say that I want to add the Helsinki ASHI indicator into the chart. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be dragging the indicator into the chart, and I'm going to be pressing OK. So there I have it. Now I have the indicator being confirmed and being implemented into the chart. Next icons to follow are referring to the time frame. So actually here I find it the most convenient to check or change your time frames through these icons here at the top. So you can go from all the way from the monthly chart all the way down to the 1 minute chart, and in between you have the options of the 5, 15, 30, etc. Okay. Now the next one is going to refer to the templates. Okay. So remember before that I was talking about how you can save your profile. So now what we can do is we can also save a template. So if I want to have direct, straight, very easy access to a template that I've already built, I'm not going to be obviously wanting to waste my time by building that template again. So I'm going to be giving you a demonstration here. Let's just add one more indicator. Let's just say the RSI. We're going to be adding the RSI to our chart. And now what I want to do is I want to create and save this template so that I can always revisit and add it to different charts. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to click here at the icon. I'm going to click Save Template, and I'm going to have just to name it. So let's call it ASCII RSI, and you click save. Now, if I go to a different chart, let's say I'm going to the dollar against the Swiss franc. Now I can always retrieve this template at the click of a button. So if I am on this chart, all I have to do is press this icon and click load template. The moment that I click on load template, I just need to select the one that I just created under the name ASCII RSI, and voila, there you have it. Now you have your template being applied to this new chart. Now, the next icons that follow are what it's called the actual drawing functionalities of MT4. You have the cursor, then you can actually use the crosshair, then you can actually draw vertical lines, horizontal lines. You obviously can use the next one that will allow you to see a visual representation of a trend through a trend line. And then you have other drawings such as these equidistant channels, Fibonacci retracements, which happen to be very popular among the retail and other traders at an institutional level. And then you can draw some text. Let's just say here, tests, and I'll type again test, and I'll paint that in color white. So there you have it. And then you can just double click, and then you can move it around and basically just assign a text to any specific point on your chart, okay? And as I mentioned, there are other drawing tools available. So you can have thumbs up, check signs, stop signs, etc. Now, on top of that, if you right click, you are having your cursor on the drawing tools and you right click and press customize, you also have the option to add further drawings into your MT4 platform. So let's just say that I want to add the rectangle. I will select the rectangle, I click insert, and then I will have the rectangle available at just one click away. So I can just come to the rectangle, I can draw the rectangle, and I will have it there in my chart. Now, last but not least, it's the charts and settings. So basically the price charts can be customized to reflect the trader's style and color preferences. So all you have to do is you have to just right click and click on properties. Now, the moment that you select properties, you can then start to customize the appearance of the chart. Several default color schemes will appear in the color scheme drop-down menu at the top of the colors tab. And as a trader, you can also have the option to obviously specify colors for each variable, including background, foreground, grid, and bar colors. And the common tab allows traders to select if they would like to have certain features such as volume appear on the chart, or you can actually unclick the show grid, so you will notice that the click is gone. And there are many other options that you can explore here. Now, the ones that come by default are going to be show grid, as I mentioned, and then the shifting of the chart, so that the price keeps always progressing as time goes by, okay? But again, as I said, you can just specify different options and different preferences. Let's just say, for example, that I want to change the background of the chart from black to white. So obviously I would also have to change and shift the foreground from white to black. And then there I have my new chart. It's white. Okay, so again, you can have your own personal customized chart as you wish. In this new video, I'm going to be walking you through tips and tricks. These are the useful little advices that I wish I had been told while I was starting my career as a trader and an analyst as well. So first of all, I'm going to show you how you can select all these drawing tools rather than by pressing on a double click. You can just simply notice how now if I press just one click, nothing really occurs. So I'm going to teach you how you can go about just pressing just one time, and then you'll be able to select the drawing tool. Okay, so what you want to do is you're going to head to Tools, go to Options, and right here you go to Objects, and here you can find the option that says Select Object by Single Mouse Click. You select this box, you click OK, and then you will be able to select your horizontal level. Allow me to expand the chart actually. You'll be able to select any drawing tool, be it a horizontal line, it could be a trend line. So there you have it. Now you can just click one time and you can move it around. So we are saving one click rather than 2 clicks. It's just going to be one. So it's again a very handy tip for you to utilize as a trader. The next tip is going to be on placing orders. Remember how before I explained that you can actually enter orders through this new order box and select, especially if you really want to place limit orders or stop orders, this tip is going to be very useful. So here you can select your buy limit, your sell limit, buy stop, or sell stop. However, notice how you have to go through a multiple number of steps, right? So alternatively, what you can do is you can just simply place the cursor on your chart, and let's say that you want to buy this market if the price falls all the way down to this area of support in the 4-hour chart. So all you can do is you can right click your mouse, press buy limit, and then there you have it. You will be placing a buy limit worth 100,000 units or one lot. Okay, now if you want to change your size, you can just simply type here, let's just say 0.3, and you right click again, and your buy limit will be entered this time with a volume of 0.3. Now, sticking to the chart, if you want to find out the number of indicators that have been attached to your chart, the way you can do it is by right clicking and then select the option Indicators List. Here I will have a relationship of all the indicators that are now available in my chart, and I can edit them by just double clicking, or I can also delete them from the chart, and then your chart will be back to a plain defaulted image or picture. Okay. The next tip, one that you will over time be using over and over, especially as you incorporate more expert advisors or indicators as part of your trading arsenal, is access to your folder. Okay, so the way you want to do this is you want to click File and then click on Open Data Folder. Once you do that, then you will find a list of the different folders, and it's in here where you can have direct access to your profiles, your templates, your indicators, etc. Now, the folder that you're going to be using the most, it's called MQL4. Once you access, notice how you have this list of different folders where you can then have a look at the number of scripts you have, and you can edit, you can add and delete them. You can then have access to your list of indicators. So if you actually want to add new indicators on top of the existing ones, this is the folder where you want to add them. Okay, once you add several of them, one of them, you can always close it. And the way for MT4 to actually detect a new indicator being installed as part of your MT4 platform would be coming to your Navigator and right clicking and then press refresh. That will automatically update the number of indicators, scripts, you name it, that are available within your trading platform. Another tip would be how you can duplicate drawing tools. Okay, so for example, I just selected this horizontal line, and let's say that now I want to duplicate. So there are obviously different options that I can do that. I can just click here and select a new one. However, if I really want to make it as quick as possible, or what I can do as well is I select the horizontal line, and then what I want to do is I want to keep pressing Control plus the left mouse, the left click. Do a left click, and then there you have it. You have duplicated the horizontal line, and that applies to any drawing, any painting on your chart. So this is a rectangle. I'm going to select the rectangle, and I'm going to simultaneously keep pressing Control plus the left. And there you have it. I have it duplicated. Now, the next tip is going to be how you can change your password. Okay? Remember, you were by default given a number, a serial numbers as your account and the password. So if you want to change the password to one that you're most familiar with, all you can do is come to Tools, then select Options, and then in this very first tab called Server, you will be presented with your login, your password, and you have to click Change. And in Change, then first of all, you need to introduce your current password, and then you will be asked your new password and to confirm it once again. Then you press OK, and just like that, your password will be changed. Another tip, especially for those that are very methodical, would be how you can establish or define a line at the end of every single day. So what you want to do is, let me repeat that again. So you are on your chart, you right click, go to Properties, and you click Show Period Separators. And there you have it. You will have, in this case, this is a 4 hour, so let's go to the 1 hour chart. So you will have each day being divided or separated by a vertical line. Here is another tip for you. If you want to have more database, more data points available as part of your chart, let's say this is the pound against the US dollar on the hourly chart. What you can do is actually press the home key on your keyboard. So if you were to press the home key, and remember, before you want to do that, you want to have the shifting buttons and click. Otherwise, you're going to be taken back to present time. So having this two buttons and click, and then you press the home key on your keyboard, then you're going to be taken all the way back to, in this case, it's August of 2017, right? So that's supposedly the data, the database that you have available as part of your sterling against the US dollar chart. However, if you keep pressing the home key, you will notice that more and more data gets generated. And you can do this not infinitely, because there will be a point where there's just not going to be more data available. Okay, so as you can see, I keep pressing and more data gets generated, which is a really good way for you to first build this database and then backtest your strategy if you like. So you can do that through the expert advisor, so the strategy tester section, or you can do it visually and in a manual manner. Now, notice that I've reached the end. I have not been able now to generate any more data points, and this is 2016, March 2016. So there is one more option you can resort to if you actually want to generate even extra data to download, if you want to download extra data points. And the way you do it is by coming to Tools, you click on History Center, then you will be presented with a list of all the asset classes being offered at Global Prime. And next is for you to click on, in this case, pound US dollar on the hourly chart. And you'll notice that all the data points that have been recorded now are right here. So it goes from present time, October the 19th, all the way to 2016, March 2016, late February 2016. So the way that you go about it is by clicking download. Then you will be presented with this pop-up window that says you're going to download data from MetaQuotes History Center, but your account is open on the Global Prime Trade Server. Please do not forget that the downloaded history data can differ from the data stored on the Trade Server. You can press OK, and the process of downloading extra data will begin. Now this will take quite a while, and after this is done, you will be you will have the possibility to backtest your strategy with more data being available as part of your MT4 trading chart.